Guys, we have something really special for you tonight. This is very, very last minute. I've got Mr. Adrian Bow sitting next to me.
Hey guys.
From Adrian Bow Training.
That's me.
Everyone knows Adrian Bow though. He's all over everything to do with real estate. But Adrian, true story, Adrian actually won a competition that I ran last week. For those of you guys that are watching, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was a photo with Mark Novak, wasn't it? And Lee Woodward. And I was asking for the best caption. And Adrian was actually the winner of the competition. True story. And no, it wasn't set up. I thought your answer was awesome.
The funny thing was, Lisa, I didn't even know you were asking for a response due to a competition.
Oh, really?
It's just the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that photo was Twins the movie with Schwarzenegger and DeVito, and I just wrote it as a comment. And it was only later I got this thing like, you just won, and that's where I was like, do you still want to take the prize given that you're prolific on social? I'm like, yeah, of course.
And you're like,
I'm happy to learn anything. But you're the queen of social, you know. So.
And I think we've got the king sitting here. So, guys, this was quite interesting. So Adrian won a half an hour social media training session. And I said to Adrian, come in, and he bought a bottle of Verve. So already we're off to a great start there.
Chivalry's still alive while I'm still alive.
Exactly. But it was actually, and Adrian's not an easy person to train because he trains most of you real estate people out there. But one thing that we did focus on, Adrian, was that you don't do any pre-market selling.
I love it. Yeah, like what Lisa and I talked about was the pre-portal, as you call it, which I think in itself seems self-explanatory, but the unique and novel part about it is that the only place you're going to find that listing is on your social media channels.
Spot on.
That's what I love about it, right? So sure, all of us.
Even Adrian noticed it.
Yeah.
It does work.
Yeah, it works. There's no doubt. Like all of us, just to tick a box, add our listings to social media, right?
Yeah.
But this is very different because what you're telling the owner is, you know, it's not going to cost you any money. I'm going to do a video. I can get it sold for a premium price within a limited period of time. And then the first thing I asked you was, are you getting people responding to you that actually own real estate? And you're like, yeah. So I was onto that. And then I was like, then once you go and see those people, do you then reuse this strategy as a listing tool? And you're like, yeah. So I was like, so immediately I caught on to the fact what Lisa's doing, and it's a revolving door of listing tool selling, listing tool selling, listing tool. It's just perfect.
Yeah, and it really, and obviously it does work. But that's one thing that I did note that you're not doing. So we did a bit of training around that, guys. And while we were sitting having a conversation, I said to Adrian, you know what? Let's get on to social media and let's go over that so that everyone can learn from it.
Because we both hate social media. Right?
Well, that's exactly right. And the truth is you've got like 10 times the amount of followers that I do. I did note that today. But I just want to start off by saying they're all females. But I wanted to start off by saying the followers don't matter. All right. Not for this. They don't, because you can have, I think you've got 57,000 followers, which is ridiculous. But often the industry will get caught up on followers. And for selling property on social media, it actually doesn't matter how many followers. You don't need tens of thousands. You actually just need a few hundred of the right kinds of followers.
Absolutely.
And when you give people what they want on social media, they will start to follow you for those reasons. So in my instance, and it's what I was explaining to you before, Adrian, it's the fact that buyers can see properties before they go out to the real estate portals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously a lot of my followers are buyers.
Yep.
That are looking for property. So when you actually give that kind of information to people, they will definitely start to engage with you.
Definitely. And what blew me away, Lisa, was when I asked you how much you're spending with boosting, and you're like, I don't. I just post it. So effectively what Lisa's done is creating her own CRM of buyers and sellers within an esoteric geographical marketplace, not like very similar to like 10, 15 years ago when you started building Agent Box or My Desktop, whatever CRM you're using, but doing it in that social media environment.
Yeah. And look, it took time, Adrian, you know, to be able to have that, what I call my tribe, my followers, takes time to get the right tribe. When you give people what they want, they will follow you. But in terms of boosting, I think if you're starting out to do this, it would make sense to put a bit of money behind your social media.
Because you're saying you started doing it that way, and then now you probably don't need to because you've already got the following.
Yeah.
But to start out, I'd probably agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, guys, I always say $15 or $20 behind a post.
Yeah.
The newspapers became almost obsolete, right? In real estate, certainly on the northern beaches, they did.
Yeah.
So you've got to ask the question, what have you done to replace that self-promo? If we're not in the papers anymore, where are you?
Yeah.
So put a little bit of money behind that social media and boost it. And I always say, Adrian, a good 5 kilometre radius around where you work, continually keep doing that.
Yeah.
And for those people that don't want to see that content, they can just simply unfollow you.
That's right. Yep,
all right.
Absolutely.
So
5Ks in 5 days has always been, if I've ever boosted, that's been my formula.
Okay.
No one taught me that. I just sort of, like anything with social media, you just make it up as you go, like
100%.
you did.
Yep.
You know, but I found that works well for me. But you're saying you don't even need to boost it now, which is great because you've really got that specific target market.
Yeah.
So what other tips would you give these guys, Lisa?
Okay,
You're speaking at ARIC about social media. What are some teasers that the audience might
so there's a few things. Raw video content, that's really important. I think, you know, a lot of people in the industry love to do these Hollywood style production videos, which are amazing when you get onto the portals. Social media doesn't love it. Just some good raw authentic video content using your iPhone. We had the discussion before, I'm hopeless with technology. Yes, fun fact, hopeless with it. But use your iPhone and just hold your phone up. You don't need mics, you don't need anything, but hold it up nice and high. If you hold it down too low, you'll look like Frankenstein. And if you hold it right to your face, it's too close. So hold it up nice and high, you'll get a good angle. And when you hold the phone towards you, you can maneuver the phone around nice and easily as well.
That's a good tip.
As opposed to flipping the phone. You lose engagement with your audience.
Good tip. And obviously you're how do you stop people calling you? What do you put on airplane mode or something?
Put it on Do Not Disturb.
Do Not Disturb. Yeah. Okay, that's a good tip for people. Yeah.
Chuck it onto Do Not Disturb. There's a little app on there that will remind you when you leave the location.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll wonder why no one's called you all day, and it's because your phone's being stuck.
And what about, is that live or is it recorded then post?
Good question.
Yeah.
Okay, so social media loves live content.
Live content, yeah.
Loves live content. You'll get massive brownie points for going live.
Right.
Do the live, save it when you're finished. It'll pop into your camera roll, and then you can repurpose it again and push it up to LinkedIn and your stories.
If you do a live post on Facebook, Lisa, does it stay there always, or do you have to repost it?
It will stay there for a short period of time, and then it'll move down the feed.
I understand.
Okay. So, but if you've got that content there, you can be sitting at home on a Sunday, and you can then repost that content,
from
and
your
it looks like you're going live.
Understand. Okay.
All right. So there's nothing that. Where people make the mistake with social media is that they'll do one video of a property and forget that they can actually repost it again. Repost it. Do it 20 times during the campaign. It doesn't matter. Different buyers are on social media at different times.
And when you say Facebook loves live, what you're really saying is the algorithm itself is a piece of artificial intelligence which is being designed and programmed to devour raw, authentic live content.
Spot on. The algorithm loves live content. All right, it'll rate you highly for it. So make sure you're doing your live videos.
And what you're saying is the dissemination or the distribution rate is just a lot higher than static content or even filmed content. Yeah.
Spot on.
Okay,
spot on.
Good.
Consistency. It's really important. All right. So you've got to be consistent for this to work. So I've had agents before that will say to me, I tried it for 2 weeks and it didn't work. I don't know, like I've tried exercise for 2 weeks and that didn't work either. So
90 days is I advocate to anyone who wants to try any new initiative.
Right.
You got to have 90 days.
So that changes the habit, does it? 90 days?
It will become a habit after 90 days, but you won't see any results for 90 days in anything, So stay in process the whole time for 90 days. Don't even seek an outcome. And then you can pop your head up after 90 days to see what the outcomes are like. But 2 weeks it's not going to do it.
It's not going to do it. So I actually did this for 6 months before I had anyone liking commenting, following. 6 months is really hard. It's not very motivating, but I kept pushing through, and then for me it didn't happen quickly, but it happened quite suddenly then, and all of a sudden it just started happening, and I was like, oh my God. And people would stop me and say, I love what you do on your social media. I was like, oh my God, people are actually watching this, but you've got to be consistent. So for me, that's 3 to 5 hours a day. What sort of hours are you doing on your socials?
I'd probably just only do a couple of posts a day. So when you say 3 to 5 hours, you mean 3 to 5 hours worth of content per day?
So feeding content in and dealing with content coming out as well. So inquiry.
So engagement, 3 to 5 hours of engagement.
Spot on.
Well, that's prospecting.
It's my prospecting.
That's prospecting.
Yeah, it is.
Are you doing any traditional forms of prospecting as well?
I do, but I don't love it. It doesn't resonate with me. Sorry to all you agents out there.
No, look, everyone's got their own thing that they've got to be comfortable with. So if you did traditional prospecting, would it be making, say, half a dozen hot calls a day? Yeah. So that's someone you might have appraised, top buys. So that's still a form of prospecting.
Absolutely. I definitely do them. I don't love them. So of course you always just default to the thing that you love. And I enjoy doing all the social stuff. Fantastic. So a lot of it's done on there. But for anyone that's starting out doing this, 15 minutes a day.
Okay, good.
All right.
That's a good tip.
15 minutes a day, but every day. You can do it on a Sunday. You can do it when you're on holidays. And you can do it when you're lying in bed at night at 10 o'clock.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So, but that's a good ballpark for anyone who's watching, and for you, Adrian.
Fantastic.
I'm going to be watching you, starting all your pre-market social media videos.
Let me tell you, I love learning. This is my 50th year on the planet, 33rd year in the industry, and I'm a bit selfish in my coaching because I do a lot of coaching, but I'm just learning from them all the time as well, because when you stop learning and you stop growing, you're dying.
100%.
And for me, it doesn't matter. I'm humble. I love taking on information from even associate agents who I train, admin associates, senior agents, everyone. I'm constantly learning, and you have to, because if you don't, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying.
100%.
So it's critical. So I don't think there should be any hubris or ego in the industry at all. I think everyone should be, taking on board. And obviously, Lisa, this happened by default. You didn't just wake up and say, I'm going to design a mastery level social media strategy. No. You just had one vendor who was desperate, who needed to sell, didn't have a budget, and you said, let's try it, right? So I think there's a metaphor. Well, I was like,
what else am I going to do? Like, what else do I do? The industry didn't have anything else, Adrian.
Yeah.
It was either we take money and put it onto the portals, and that he didn't want that. He was a very proud man.
Yeah.
Or it was just off market, but he had 2 weeks to live.
Yeah.
And he needed the property sold. So I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and put this on my Facebook page and see what happens here. And so that's kind of how it all started. I can't give all the story away.
No, of course.
I'm going to give it to Eric.
But in saying
that, Eric.
Well, that's a metaphor for everything in real estate, as far as I'm concerned, because what we do in real estate is usually overanalyze everything, and we parallelize ourselves and end up doing nothing. So you could have thought about that for 3 months and thought, oh, what's the best strategy? What's this? What's that? But to use another metaphor and an analogy, which is literally just press record, what you did.
Yeah.
And you don't let perfection get in the way of getting started. You just did
100%.
it, and then it evolved. Was it perfect to start with? No.
100%.
Did it evolve and get better? Yes. Did you learn? Yes. So it's a great metaphor, whether it's a business plan, whether it's an effective business unit, whether you're putting on a new staff member, whether you've got an operations unit or property management. Just get things happening, let it evolve, and then just perfect it and monitor it as you go along.
100%. Can I just touch on that whole, just don't overthink things, that authenticity is so important.
Yeah.
It's so important. You know how many agents that will contact me and say, can you help me? Like, I want to be like Gavin Rubinstein. I'm like, well, he's taken. So just be yourself and see how that works out, right? Like, it's almost, we're just sitting here having a chat.
Yeah.
Whether the camera was on or the camera was off, the conversation was the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you're Adrian and I'm Lisa, and that's the best way to be.
Yeah.
I think people struggle with the authenticity because of the fear maybe of being judged.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing that you can do with your socials is just 120% be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a phenomenal listing tool as well. 95% of my appraisals are generated off my socials.
Yep.
So people have done that digital interview already.
Absolutely.
Right. So by the time you turn up there, they're like, oh, I feel like I already know you, and
Yep.
I'm just really happy with everything that you offer here.
That's great.
So it's really important to have that authenticity as
Absolutely.
well.
And if anyone's listening to this who are doing the traditional types of prospecting, maybe what they can do, for example, Lisa, is treat this as a and strategy, not an or strategy. What I mean is don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, do what you're doing, but maybe just add this as another vertical to your business.
100%.
And just try it, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to be Lisa Novak, like as she just said, she's taken, right? So like she's doing her thing. And if you're at the beginning of your career or the middle of the career or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Introduce this as an aspect of your business, right?
Without a doubt. And it's really important to point out that I actually do offer a staged marketing strategy. So I don't only sell property on socials. Yeah. In fact, I'm always going onto the portals.
Good.
All right. But we just give the buyer and the seller the opportunity first, if they want it, to go onto the socials first.
Yeah. And what a great point of difference.
Because
if the vendors had 4 agents in, 3 of them have said the same thing, and you've said something novel and different, straight away that you're an anomaly, and straight away you're an attraction agent because you're actually thinking outside the box, and it's linked with something that's not antiquated, that's actually modern, which is social media, which everyone relates to.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's important that as an industry that we listen to what the needs of our consumers are.
Yeah.
So not every seller wants a big 3 or 4 week auction style strategy, like my lovely vendor who passed away, right? So that wouldn't have worked for him. He was given just 2 weeks to live. So that would not have worked. But it's important that we adapt as agents and that we work out the way to be able to get the most amount of money for our vendors as well, whatever that looks like. Is it getting onto the portal? Is it going social media? Is it what's the best way forward for them?
Absolutely.
Any other questions I can help you with? We're training the trainer tonight.
I love it. No, I just love learning. I just love hearing your passion and energy towards this initiative, and just for embracing something that is just a massive hole and a massive vacuum in the market, and you're filling it. It's working and it's feeding itself. As I said, it's from buyers to listings to listing tool to more buyers, and I just think it's great. And again, this doesn't have to be something that you adopt in isolation. You can just have this as an and strategy to what you're already doing, and it'll just be another vertical to your business. So no, I think it's terrific, Lisa. Great, good on you. I love your passion and energy. You're not new to real estate, but you're new-ish to sales, and what you've managed to achieve within a limited period of time is truly remarkable. So I really want to, congratulate you and thank you for everything that you contribute back to the industry. You do a lot for the industry, a lot more than you know. Yeah,
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I feel like this has been more of a training session.
Like this is your life. This is your life.
I know. But it's been great. Thank you so much for coming in. Congratulations. Pleasure. You actually did win a competition, although I feel like I did. And we might have to do this as a regular gig.
Yeah, why not? And if anyone wants to reach out on www.adrianbo.com.
We'll pop a link in here as well.
Yeah, and I've just launched the Real Estate Academy as well, the Adrian Bo Real Estate Academy. Awesome. So it's really cool. So basically what it is, for $68 a month plus GST, which most of those proceeds I'm actually donating to Beyond Blue to increase awareness to mental health in our industry. Because as a coach, I find that a lot of my coaching sessions become counselling sessions. So, and I've had history of mental health myself. So it's an initiative for me. So for $68 a month, it's a no-brainer. And basically what you do is you become part of a private Facebook group, which you'd like.
Right, yeah.
I'm commenting on it every day and giving tips of the day. And then I do a weekly webinar every Wednesday morning. And then you get a nice cool certificate from me as well. So
awesome.
And then also I post videos, tips and hacks and stuff as well.
Unbelievable.
So if you just go to adrianbo.com and then go to Academy, you'll be able to sign up.
Unbelievable. And I reckon there's nothing you don't know about real estate. Adrian and I go way back to McGrath days. We've obviously got a mutual friend there, but there is so much that you do for our industry as well. And I know that you've been around for a really long time. And also one thing that Adrian won't tell you is he actually trains some of the biggest names in our industry. So guys, I know Adrian will be happy to help with any questions that you might have. Hopefully you guys have gotten something out of this. And again, congratulations. Absolute legend. Absolute legend. Thank you guys.
She's the queen of this one.
Have a great night, everyone. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.